Hey everybody, it's Keith Saarloos, and it is 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and this is Chopping It Up on 105.9 Crazy Country. And today I am giddy. I'm excited because I get to talk to not just a local legend, but a true legend, Mr. Louis Lucas. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's great to be here.
Thank you, sir. This is pretty exciting for me. I'm a farmer. I grow grapes, make wine. And I know I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and you are one of those people. Could you tell us, before we kind of get into it a little bit, when I drive between Los Olivos and Los Alamos on the right-hand side, there is a vineyard.
Yes.
And what year? And that is the Louis Lucas Vineyard, correct?
Yeah, but that's a vineyard that I bought. It was planted in the late 70s by Joe Carrari.
Yeah.
But I had 80 acres there next to Joe.
Okay.
That I planted in 80.
Okay.
And then later when Joe wanted to retire, we bought Joe.
Got it.
That's how. But we started doing vineyards in Santa Maria.
Yes.
Tepisque vineyards. We also did vineyards in Paso, Edna Valley, and of course Tepisque, then Los Alamos, and now here. We didn't miss much.
So let's go all the way back. And this is the reason I wanted to talk to you is, what year did you come back here? Or what year did you come to the San Ynez Valley or greater Santa Barbara area and start planting grapes? How old were you? Give us the backstory.
Well, we planted our first vineyard in Santa Maria in 70.
Okay.
We planted 800 acres.
Unbelievable.
That was a time when there was about 80 acres in the county.
So you took 80 acres of total planted grapes and you brought in 800.
Well, 80 acres was here. The primary vineyard was DiMattei Nielsen.
Okay.
Believe it or not, DiMattei Nielsen. Nielsen was a neighbor of my father's who managed the vineyard over in the San Joaquin Valley.
Yeah.
DiMattei owned Delano Building Materials, and he was my Little League baseball coach. How's that?
That's pretty
That
impressive.
is trivia.
That is trivia. So 80 total acres, and you brought that to 880 acres. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But
why? Why would you come here and do this?
Well, I won't say it was a challenge. It was an ultimate challenge.
Yeah.
But it started earlier. We came over here and looked around in 68 mainly. But we knew DiMattei Nielsen was here. Mm-hmm. And so we came over to visit them.
Okay.
And saw the vineyard and loved that mesa.
It's beautiful.
It's the best that there is.
Is that now where Byron built their facility?
Yeah, well, Byron built it next door to what we had.
Correct. But you have to drive through the Nielsen vineyard.
We sold that vineyard to Kendall Jackson.
Got it.
That is the first bottle of Kendall Jackson came from that vineyard. Matter of fact, the first bottle for the first 6 or 7 years, every bottle came from that vineyard. Chardonnay.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Jed Steele, winemaker, who just passed away recently, great guy.
So let's talk about that a second, because Kendall Jackson in the wine world is kind of a household name. If you would say that to anybody, it's kind of like saying Budweiser or whatever.
He was a trial attorney from San Francisco who didn't pay me for the first 20 tons of grapes. And he's the only person I've taken to market enforcement in my 60 years of growing grapes.
Unbelievable. So they were established on that vineyard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Jed Steele knew how to make it, and the grapes were great.
So that's over in Santa Maria. To get there, for people who are listening, you either take Fox and Canyon out, or you get off on Betaravia in Santa Maria.
It's like 10 miles east of Santa Maria.
By the river bench.
Yes.
Right there. Right where the bridge is.
I also did river bench, too.
You also did river bench.
We're
going to hear that a lot in this conversation.
I did that for Jack Niven.
Yes. Okay. So 1968, you're here.
Yeah.
Poking around.
Yeah, my brother and I.
Your brother and I.
And then we brought Dale Hampton over.
You brought Dale Hampton over.
He learned to grow grapes from my father.
You're kidding.
We went to high school together. I broke his arm in football one day.
I love it.
He hasn't forgiven me yet. He was here a couple of days ago. He was here from Texas. They had a reception for him in Los Olivos.
I would love to talk to him as
well. Good guy.
So now that we've kind of got into the story a little bit, I want to roll back a little bit. Where did little Louis grow up?
Little Louis grew up in Delano, California.
Okay.
4-H club member, St. Mary's Grammar School. Mm-hmm. Two of the greatest nuns in the history of the Dominican Republic of nuns were my teachers.
Really?
Embedded in me, the go sign. Then I went to Delano High School, 1,500 students.
Yeah.
Played football, basketball, baseball, student body president.
Man, you're a popular guy.
I didn't want to miss anything.
So after high school, where'd you head to?
Notre Dame University.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Were grapes a part of your life at this point, by
I
the
got
way?
goosebumps from that saying it.
Really?
I did. You know, I was supposed to go to St. Mary's because my uncle, who was killed in World War II, went to St. Mary's, and he was the first one in the family to go to college. But when Notre Dame accepted me, I'd never been out of the state of California. When I did go, all my Croatian relatives took me down to the train depot in Bakersfield and got on the Super Chief to Chicago. 38 hours later, I was in Chicago.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
This is a book. This is Grapes of Wrath right
tell
here.
you what.
This is amazing.
God is good.
God is good.
Yeah.
So you went to Notre Dame for a couple of years.
4 years.
What were you studying there? What did you want to do?
I was in the business school.
Okay.
But at Notre Dame, you take 60% in the business school and 40% in all other kinds of things.
Got it.
Got my highest grade in argumentation.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see how that would be true. So you graduate from Notre Dame. Any other exciting things happening in
Well,
Notre Dame?
I went to a little law school for a year in San Francisco, University of San Francisco Law School for a year.
And did that stick?
No, I was having a little bit of trouble with my eyesight at the time. I'd been away from home for 5 years, and I said, it's time to head for the home, the roundup.
Yeah.
Got home. When I was home 30 days, Uncle Sam sent me a notice and wanted me to go to Vietnam, which I did not go. Thank goodness for the riot in Los Angeles.
Really?
I did go to the riot, though.
Really?
Yeah, Dale Hampton went with me. We had a separate detachment of the guard in Delano that was part of Bakersfield.
Yeah.
And when the thing broke out in Los Angeles, we were close by, and
Was that the Watts riot?
yeah,
Okay.
the Watts riot. We were there for 4 or 5 weeks.
That's near where I grew up, actually.
Yeah, that I think kept us. After that, we became a selective reserve force on call for Vietnam, but we never got called.
Got it.
And I think that because our training changed a little bit after Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But that was quite an experience.
I could only imagine.
Yeah.
When people think about just, an exposition a little bit is, everybody says today is worse than it's ever been. Right?
Well, I went to Fort Polk, Louisiana for basic training. Now
Okay.
I went from there to Santa Cruz. I went from one extreme to the other. Ended up at Fort Ord for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. You get out of there. Where do you land as a young man and say, well, I need to get to work?
I landed with my father and brother growing grapes. This is 1964,
Okay.
65.
How many years has your father been growing grapes?
He was probably growing grapes for 25 years. As a little boy, I watched my dad teach himself to grow grapes.
Tell me about it.
He married into a Croatian family. Everything in our family is Croatian. Everybody's Croatian.
Right.
All 4 of my grandparents were born in Croatia. They met over here.
Okay.
And my dad, his family was not in agriculture, but my mother's family was. Mm-hmm. And in Depression days, both of them were the oldest of 5. Mom quit school to help out the house, and Dad quit school because his father was killed in a Model T accident.
Really?
And then they married and lived in Reedley. And I was born in Sanger, which is right near Reedley.
Yeah.
And then the big move was to Delano.
So how did they get to... I'm going to go back to your father learning how to grow grapes. So your father ended up in where originally?
Well, his father was a miner in Wickenburg, Arizona for 30 years. My dad was born in the minefields of Wickenburg.
What were they mining in Wickenburg?
There's silver and a few other things.
That's on the hot side of the hill.
And they didn't have a road there till 1942. I looked it up.
Really?
How they survived out there. And my father had 3 brothers and a sister.
Yeah.
And it was amazing and then they made it to Fresno. And then my grandfather was killed soon after Fresno. He had a livery stable. He took care of horses and Model T cars and stuff, and
that's amazing. But if you talk about that era, right?
Yeah,
people were still riding horses as a form of transportation at the same time as the Model T was rolling down the road.
Like I said, Wickenburg never had a road till 42. I was checking it out.
Unbelievable.
And very partial to Croatia.
Yeah. So he got into grapes. Why did he get into grapes?
Well, my mother's family was getting into grapes.
Okay.
And he had a Croatian fellow named Marko Zaninovic that helped him get his first 40 acres, and it was an old 40 acres of Thompson Seedless. In the first few years, my dad made raisins.
So these are all table grapes, right?
No, the first raisins. Table grapes is the luxury. That came later.
Got it. Okay.
And he grew raisin grapes. Then he switched to cannery, like Hunt's. Remember Fruit Cocktail?
Yeah.
We were the grapes for Fruit Cocktail. Our fabulous 40 acres. And then the big change of everybody in the Croatian community. There's about 400 Croatian people in the Delano area. We have our own club, American Slavonic Social Club.
Got it.
It's kind of cool.
Highfalutin.
So he started growing table grapes, and that changed everything. And in those days, you didn't sell directly to markets. You sent to auctions. There was an auction in New York. There was a New York auction. Chicago had an auction, and then like Boston had commission houses that you shipped the grapes to, and they sold your grapes and sent you the money.
Okay.
And you hoped it was what it was supposed to be.
Let's paint this picture.
Okay.
So you grew grapes for a full year. You harvested them.
Yeah.
Then what would you would put them in wood boxes? How would you, and then ship them all the way to?
Sure. When I went back to Notre Dame, I used to go early, and I'd go do the markets, and then I'd call up my dad and tell him how his grapes looked, and my uncle and my grandfather and everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, the New York auction, what a place. They would auction 20 freight cars of grapes in a day.
So you were loading, were they in boxes?
Oh, yeah. Those were 26-pound boxes that we call a naked pack, or wrap them each one individually, and that was a 22-pound box.
Got it. And then you'd put it on a freight car.
Had to put it on a freight car, and it had to be braced really good for the ride. And then what we did, we stick ice with salt on it and put salt on it and put fans and cool those cars down.
Yeah.
And then once they got cooled down, we'd ship them on their way.
And you'd ship it all the way across the country to Chicago, New York.
Unless it was too hot, they would stop in Old Wine, Iowa, or somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. They had a re-icing plant.
Yes. Okay.
But most of it took 7 days by freight to get there, and 4.5 days, I think, by express. But express was much higher in price.
I mean, I'm just thinking about myself. I'll pick at night, and it's over at the winery that morning, being processed that morning. So thinking about picking table grapes, boxing them, putting them on a freight car, and having them go across the country. When you said
Delano gets only to 100 degrees every day during the summer, unless it's 105.
So you said you would go to school early, and look at your dad's grapes.
Yeah, when I went to Notre Dame, I'd take a trip. The couple of years there, I took a trip to the East Coast, and go see how the grapes look arriving.
Unbelievable. This is okay. Let's keep going. Going. So
and then we start. And when things got, one of the big companies, corporations that was growing grapes got out of business. When they got out of business, they sold all those farmers a lot of land for $1 down, $1 a day, and that had everybody was able to expand the Sierra Vista Company, which is part of the Giorgio Fruit Corporation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Louis Lucas right now, and we're going through his life, and this is going to be a 2-part episode. I can just feel it right now. So let's get to the point where you are beginning to grow grapes with your family. Tell me more about that.
Well, when I came home, my brother and father were already doing their thing. I joined them.
How many acres were you farming?
They were probably at 500 or 600, and then we went up to like 2,000 acres.
And how many people at that point were you employing?
We hired as many as 600.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm sad today because of Cesar Chavez.
Oh yeah, got it.
Finally caught up with him.
Got it.
I negotiated a contract with him myself.
Did you really?
Some other growers.
You sat in a room with him?
sat in a room with him, right across from him, and negotiated the contract when the boycott killed us all, and we had to sign. We did that in a hotel in Bakersfield.
And you were there.
Yeah. I had to sign number 2 on the list because I was the number 2 enemy of Chavez. Number 1 was John Jamera from the Jamera family in Bakersfield.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I'm speechless for a second because today is, when we're recording this, Cesar Chavez Day, correct?
Yeah, and there's some things announced yesterday that finally only took 60 years for the truth to show up.
Interesting. Maybe that's a whole other episode we'll talk about later.
That's a whole nother world.
So you're sitting there, you're working with your family, a couple thousand acres, growing table grapes.
Table grapes.
And at what point, I guess maybe if I'm jumping too far ahead, let me know. At what point did you start looking around the San Ynez Valley and thinking that this would be a great place to grow some grapes?
Well, we were looking at, we had wine grapes in the valley, but it's too hot. Mm-hmm. And so we were looking for a place to grow grapes where it was cooler and we could do the better varieties. And that was a time in history where Napa was king. Of course, Napa's still king.
Sure.
But everybody was looking for a place. John Morrow Marco was down in Temecula, and there were a couple guys up in Monterey County doing things. Mm-hmm. We put in one of the first New Age vineyards in Paso Robles.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Where was it?
In 72, we put in 550 acres in Paso Robles.
And then who are you selling those grapes to?
Most of them went to August Sebastiani.
Really?
On a handshake.
No kidding.
I could do 500,000 with him on a handshake. He walked on water. He really did.
How much was a ton of grapes worth at that point?
In those days, $800.
See, that's one of those things I wanted to talk to you about.
It'd be vary about varieties. You know, if you had special grapes, it could have been higher. And of course, San Joaquin Valley wine grapes were going for $100 a ton.
Okay. And
strippings from the table grapes were going for $30 or $40, what it cost to pick them and get them off the vines.
But let's go back to the wine grapes.
Yeah.
$800 a ton.
Yeah.
In 1972?
Yeah. Well, we planted in 72, so you'd be in 75.
So 75. So let's say 60 years later, right?
Yeah. This is the problem.
60 years later, how much is a ton of wine grapes going for in District 8 we're in District 8, aren't we? In the, just general San Ynez Valley, depending on quality and everything else. But if you're talking about non-estate, non-this, non-that, what does a ton of grapes go for these days?
Well, I try not to be in that business, although that's what people are offering us.
Sure.
Yeah, people are offering 500, 300, 200. Mm-hmm. And we have damn near 2,000 in them. Mm-hmm. Cost $10,000 an acre to grow them.
Absolutely.
And harvest them.
And so the price has not gone up in 50 years.
No, it's a depression. The grape business might be through, or wine grape business. It'll be limited. Mm-hmm. The young people aren't drinking it, and then we've got every other country sending boatloads here. And
that's something to discuss, because one of the things that we're seeing in the wine industry, right, is there's definitely grapes being torn out, but when you look at the amount of wine that's being imported from Chile on tanker boats and things like that, it's almost 1-to-1.
Yeah, $5 a gallon and the whole boatload.
Whole boatload. Okay. Yeah. So before I get too depressed, let's keep moving.
Okay.
So you came to San Ynez Valley.
Yeah.
When did you start making it your home?
I moved over here in 70 when I started planting that 800 acres in Santa Maria. So you said goodbye to mom and dad and said, I'm going out on my own? We sent Dale Hampton over here, and everybody liked him so much that I had to come over here. And then I had a great business partner who stuck it to me and said, it's time for you to go over there. Okay. I had a great. I had one of the greatest business partners for 17 years there ever was. And who was it? His name was Al Gagnon. Yale grad. Yale grad. Yeah. Took a major company public and had faith in me, backed me, backed us. Yeah. And also took me to Europe for 2 summers for 4 or 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. And we studied the greatest vineyards in the world. Fabulous guy.
So let's go into that. So you took information
Yeah.
from Europe, brought it back to the San Ynez Valley when there was, like we're saying, that's why I wanted to have you in here.
I mean, I went to the greatest vineyards, Romanée-Conti, all the great ones. And I took soil samples and petio samples.
And what did you find?
And I didn't go to jail. Nothing magical. Nothing magical, but a couple of key things.
Let's hear them.
I forgot.
Come on.
Care. When I put in this vineyard that Dr. Winkler said was the best vineyard, everybody said he's a misplaced table grape grower.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And he was partially right. But when I got to France and Germany and a few of those places, the great vineyards, they were manipulating the canopy.
Mm-hmm.
Their pruning was pruning good enough. The vines were lasting 70 or 80 years. But there were smaller vines. That was the big difference. In California, we want to grow bigger vines, and they want to grow smaller vines.
Got it.
But it was fascinating to see what and the way they talk. Just like that's where I learned about co-fermentation, putting two varieties together and fermenting them together.
Yes.
I make about 5 wines that way.
Yeah. So do we, actually.
And I started that years. My first one I did like 20 some odd years ago was a Cabernet with a little bit of Syrah in it. Syrah only came from the sunny side of the vine because I have a split canopy.
Yes. Won
the double gold at the International Tasting in San Francisco. Notre Dame selected it for their 175th anniversary wine.
Really?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. You are a bit of a mad scientist. You have one vine, and you were growing 2 different varietals on that same vine?
No.
Or what do you mean by canopy then?
Well, the canopy, the trellis system when I talk about canopy.
Yes.
Whether it's cross arms, whether it's vertical, whether it's cordon, whether it's cane, whatever the style that you do. And I pick by hand. I wore out 8 machines when I had a lot of grapes.
Yeah.
But I those were for a lot of ordinary good ordinary wines. Mm-hmm. But in the last few years, I don't have a machine. I don't like machine harvested grapes, even though I had a machine. But if I told you what I did to the machine, I sent Gallo a few loads from my machine picking. They thought it was picked by hand. I had a guy on the conveyor belt with the rubber gloves and the suit on, throwing out the mice and the bird dropping. Anything he found that was foreign.
Anything you didn't want to eat.
The cordon and part of the cordon would throw out. And then I don't like the picking of bugs. I'm not excited about that. Mm-hmm. So we pick by hand. And our workers, I have the best workers. Most average worker that works for me has been with me 30 years.
Interesting.
And they know what a good grape is and what a bad grape is.
Right.
And then I turn them loose. And they do a great job. And they do it for competitive price than what other people are quoting and stuff. But now the grape business, ultimate challenge.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah. It's
So go back to, you went to France, you came back here. How much similarities, or what do you think of the San Ynez Valley in particular? If you would, in your vast experience of seeing it, doing it all.
I'm going to expand that to the Santa Barbara County.
Let's hear it.
Why? Because it's one of the few places in the world where you can grow 3 different climate zones within 30 or 40 miles.
Yes.
Santa Maria is very cool, great Pinots and Chardonnays.
Yes.
You come down the road, you're in Los Alamos, the greatest place for Italian varieties.
Yes.
You come to the San Ynez Valley, except for the east part is, I think, too hot, but we won't talk about that.
Sure. But that's one of the things I've talked about quite a few. I give a tour every Saturday morning right about this time that this is on. And the thought process that I had was, if you go to like where you were at that Nielsen vineyard, right? And you draw a little rainbow kind of arch all the way over to Lompoc. I go, that's the Burgundy zone. Yeah. And you come in a little bit closer, you talk about Italian varietals right through that next zone. Then you get a little closer and you got a Rhone zone. Yeah. And then you get a little bit closer and you hit the traffic circle and the east side, it gets hot and you can grow some Bordeaux. It's the only place on the planet that you can grow from Burgundy to Bordeaux within a 30-mile drive.
Yeah, well, I only grow 24 varieties. I was up to 26 or 28 because
Yeah.
I was taking over. I helped my neighbor. His health hasn't been good the last couple of years, and I just took care of his vineyard for him.
Got it.
And but I have a vineyard there that's directly. What is it? The crossing of Alamo Pintado and the highway. It's right by the
246, 154?
Yeah,
Got
shopping. The shopping center.
Oh, okay.
Right there. I'm up on top of that hill.
Yeah. I know exactly where you are.
There's no place like it anywhere.
There's
anywhere.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
It's the grapes we've got coming off there. Had a draw off with Notre Dame has a wine club, of course.
Of course.
And we've been selected the most times of M&A, of course, out of 30 wineries.
Yeah.
And this last year we had a cab that we were going against Stanford's wine club at a game at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And I got a call that it was tie, and whoever's cab won the deal between Notre Dame. And it said Notre Dame and Stanford are big competitors.
Right.
I get the call and it said, "You won it." And then I checked to see where their Cabernet was from Calistoga. So
Oh, God.
they even made it better.
That made it better. You bought right in their hometown.
So
That's
anyway,
fantastic.
so fun.
So,
Have to have some fun because there's no market.
well, very, very true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the market is changing. That would be my opinion,
Yeah.
right? When we're having the conversation about wine and grapes and things like that, and like I said, this is going to be a 2-part episode, and we're kind of ending the beginning of the one.
Well, we just won in the last 3 years. We won the top wine at the big tasting in Paso. 2 of those 3 years.
You did.
Yes, one with a Viognier and one with a Chenin Blanc.
So let's talk about that. You've been at this for how long, total, Mr. Lucas?
Oh, I've only been here 55 years.
Well, you've been 55 years.
Yeah,
And you've seen this valley grow.
yeah,
You've seen the grapes go in.
yeah,
You've seen the wineries, pop up all over the place.
yeah.
In your opinion, are we making some of the best wines in the world?
Yes,
That was a flat out yes, and that was quick.
there's things that we can do to make it better.
Okay.
Like oak is, the great oak.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to make a great wine, it better be in great oak.
True. Mm-hmm.
But no, we have the climate, we have the soils, we have a good growing season. We got all the aspects that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And like Kendall Jackson with a Chardonnay from Santa Maria,
Yeah.
they took the world with it.
True.
They
They
went
put them on the map.
Oh, they went. It was awesome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the first half of my interview with Louis Lucas. He is someone I wanted to have in here a long time because I think everybody who comes to town or moves to the San Ynez Valley, there's generational people here in Solvang. There's generational people all around the San Ynez Valley that go all the way back to Spanish land grants, right? And this valley, as we see it today, has transformed many, many, many times. There's been horses here. The horse industry was huge. The grapes, like you're saying, I wanted to talk to a person who brought it from 80 acres to 800. And next week, on the second half of this episode, we're going to talk about the San Ynez Valley and why it's the greatest place on earth. So this has been Chopping It Up with Keith Saarloos and the legend Louis Lucas, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.